Hi, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about credit cards. More specifically, credit cards for beginners. Let me get a shirt change. Now, before this video starts, you have to promise me to double check on whether or not you are a credit card person. Now, how to know if you're a credit card person? Well, make sure you're not like me. What I mean by that? Well, when you open a credit card, you have to know it is not your money. It is the bank's money. If you think it is your money, that is how you get into debt. That's the first rule you have to follow in order to determine on whether or not you're a credit card person. Now, another one would be you are financially responsible. Now, how do you know if you're financially responsible? Well, are you in debt? You're not? Well, good. You're financially responsible, unlike the majority of Americans, unlike me. So that's good. That's good. That's pretty good. Are you a person that is fine with taking out a bad debt to buy like a MacBook, an iPhone, and then you think you're gonna pay it off like within like the next month, but you don't? If you're that person, beware before you make a new credit card account. After everything I just said, you're sure you're a credit card person? You are? Let's keep moving on. Now, I'm gonna go off of a list that I've made for you today regarding the beginner credit cards. The first card we're gonna be talking about together is called the Destiny MasterCard. Now, this is a card that has a starting limit of $700. Now, this is gonna be higher than what I started with. I started with $500. This is $200 more. That's a lot of money if you're a broke college student like I was and still am. The second one that we're going to be talking about today is called the Student Cashback Card from Discover. Now, this is a card that has a 5% cashback on selected quarterly category. Now, let's just say that during spring, you can get 5% cashback on gas, and then maybe summer, you get 5% cashback on groceries, and you get the point. But your starting limit is probably going to be $500, like I started with. Unless you have a job, then maybe you can qualify for more, but I started with $500, no jobs. And the good thing about this card is that it has no security deposit, which is really good for beginners. An alternative to the Discover credit card option would be Chrome for Students. This has a different reward system where it rewards you 2% every time you buy gas you eat out at a restaurant. And it's unlimited. Like, you can eat out, get as much gas as you want, and you still get 2% cash back. Now, this is pretty good, but I didn't go with it because I prefer the 5% cash back, because that's usually, I prefer to get more percentage for my money, you know, on selected category. But the starting limit is probably going to be the same because it is Discover after all. So have fun with $500. Another credit card would be the Chase Freedom Rise credit card. Now, this credit card is going to give you 1.5% cash back on every single categories, on every single item that you buy with the credit card. And there's a $25 bonus to the credit card. I would say that this is a really good option because it gets you to enter the Chase ecosystem if you already didn't already have a bank account with them. Because let's just say that later on in life you want to qualify for their Sapphire Chase credit card or whatever credit card that you want from them, because they usually have the good credit cards. You're gonna need an existing bank account or existing credit card with them, because that's gonna increase your chances of qualifying with them because they care about you being loyal to them. So keep that in mind. A similar but alternative credit card would be the Quicksilver credit card from Capital One. It's going to give you 1.5% cash back on every single item that you buy with the credit card. It's nothing really different. I've never banked with Capital One, but it could be good. I'm just throwing out options here, okay? Moving on, another credit card would be the Wells Fargo Active Cashback credit card. Now, this is going to give you 2% on every single purchases that you make with the credit card. On top of that, you're gonna get a $200 reward when you spend $500 within the first 3 months after having had opened the credit card. Now, the only downside to this credit card is because Wells Fargo sucks. The customer service sucks. The credit card itself sucks. The app sucks. So that's the only con. But that $200 is pretty good. The last card that we're going to be talking about today is called the Bank of America Customized Cash Reward Secured Credit Card. Now, this credit card has a 3% cash back on selected category. It's similar to the student cashback credit card from Discover, where you have like a selected category every quarter or whatever. And you can also get 2% cash back in groceries, and you get 1% cash back on the rest of your purchases. Now, this is a good credit card for like maybe single moms or single dads, or maybe parents, young parents. This could be a good credit card for you to like buy food for your family, even though you're like 20. But yeah, or it could just be a good credit card for people who buy groceries, like maybe people who are lazy like me and that actually cook. So, but you do have to put a security deposit on this credit card, and you have to put like $200 to $5,000 in this credit card. And what a security deposit is that basically you give the bank your money to open a credit card or whatever, right? And then they keep that money, and then maybe a year, 2 years from now, they give you back the money once they have trusted you. Now, the point of this is like to build trust between you and the bank. Moving on to my top 3 credit card picks from this category. Number 1 is gonna be it's a little bit biased, but it's gonna be the student cashback credit card from Discover. This is my first credit card ever, and I love this card. I loved it for mainly the 5% cashback every quarter. It is the highest cashback if your quarter category is a good category, and it served me really well. The customer service is good, the card quality is good. You can get like a design with like a dog. Let me see here. Well, my credit card is gone, but you can get like a design with like a dog, okay? And it's really cute, and like the quality of the card is pretty good. The second option, in my opinion, would be the Chase Freedom Rise. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep looking at the computer because I'm not gonna remember all these cards on the top of my head, okay? I'm dumb. The Chase Freedom Rise card has a 1.5% cash back on all purchases, plus you get a $25 bonus when you sign up. But the main bonus to opening up this card is so that you can get into the Chase ecosystem. Now, this is important, like I said earlier, because once you get into the Chase ecosystem, you can easily qualify for the rest of their higher level cards, which is really good. And then the last credit card that we're going to be talking about today, the top 3 personal pick for me would be the Wells Fargo Active Cash Rewards card. Now, this is mainly a really good card because of the $200 cash back. The $200 rewards that you get once you spend $500 within the first 3 months. You can think of that as like a 30-40% discount on whatever you buy. Like, let's just say you buy like a cheap computer for like $500, you get a $200 discount. That's a good deal. But then you gotta keep in mind that the card quality sucks, the customer service sucks. The only good thing is the $200 cash back. Oh, and also that 2% cash back on everything is pretty good too. But if you ignore the fact that Wells Fargo got exposed a couple years back for fraud or whatever. But yeah, it has good rewards. Hi, this is Billy from the future, and I'm here to tell you that before you open your first credit card, here is what you gotta know. Number 1, check the APR rates. So usually when you first open a credit card, there will be like a 0% APR promotional like time, probably like a year, where you don't have to pay any interest if you were to owe uh, an amount of money to the credit card or to the bank. And maybe after a year, 0% goes straight up to 26%, and that's the amount of interest you're paying. Ain't nobody ever want to pay that. So just make sure what you're getting yourself into and know how much you're going to be paying in interest. Okay, so let's say that your APR is 26% and you owe them $1,000. Let's do some quick math. In 3 months, you're gonna owe them like $30. And in a whole year, you're owing them almost $100. Number two, the second thing that you're gonna have to check out before you open your credit card is the rewards. You gotta know what the rewards are. Usually with higher upgrade credit cards, like a level above the beginner, you're gonna get like promotionals where you're gonna have to spend like $300 for $200, just like the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. And just remember to check, just look out for these promotionals. And usually people would just like forget that they even exist, and they miss out on $200. Like, that's technically a 40% off, like I said earlier. So number three, check for the cashbacks. Check whether or not it's quarterly or not. Just know when the quarters are, if it is quarterly, and know what category it is in. Know to activate it and just using it accordingly, because this is how you maximize your cashback earnings. Because if you don't, what the heck is the point of the credit card, right? And lastly, number four. Now this is for later credit cards where you're going to be more advanced, but you're going to have to check out for yearly payments, where usually, more specifically with the Chase Sapphire credit card, this is like more advanced card. You're paying like roughly $500 a year, but there's going to be a lot of benefits. The point is, you got to know whether or not you have yearly payments. This is usually like once a year. Yeah, usually the rewards are better than their yearly payment, but that's beside the point. Just check for yearly payment or not. Okay, just know. Hello again. So now that you have opened a brand new credit card, here are the things that you must know. Number one, don't close your credit cards if you don't want it anymore. As long as there's no monthly or yearly payment on your credit card, like required payments, you don't have to close it. It won't affect anything. Just keep it open and just keep your credit card there, as long as it doesn't negatively affect you, like financially. Because if you close a credit card, it's gonna affect your score. Number two, it is best if you keep your utilization on the credit card at 30%. If you spend any more, it's gonna affect your credit score. And if you do have to spend any more, pay it ASAP to lower it down to 30%. Now that is the minimum that you should do. But the best thing that you could do is to pay off the 30% fully every month before you have to pay the minimum payment. Because did you know that the minimum payment includes interest? That's right. Even when you don't owe the bank anything, even when you're not behind your payments, you're paying interest. Search it up. So the best thing you could do to build your credit score is to just keep your utilization below 30%, and then maybe every 15 days you pay it off, half of it. So let's just say that your minimum payments for your credit card comes every month, right? The best thing that you could do is to just every 15 day, maybe the middle of the month, you pay half of it, and then by the end of the month, 2-3 days before you have to pay the minimum, you pay off the whole thing, just so that you don't have to pay the interest. You don't want to give your money to the bank, right? Even if it is cents, you don't want to give any of that to the bank, okay? You need that cents more than the bank. The other thing you got to keep in mind is that think of your credit card as your debit card. Never think otherwise, because if you think otherwise, you're gonna think that the money you're using from the credit card is your money. That is how you get into crippling debt. That is how I got into crippling debt. Okay, right now I have like 3-4K in credit card that I haven't paid, but I have money in my savings enough to pay, but like that's all of my savings. So, but that's aside from the point. The point is for you, this for you, not me. Just ignore me. I'm stupid, I know. Never ever think of your credit card as a debit card. Okay? Take it from a guy that got into debt. I know. And here is the next big thing. Never ever miss a payment, a minimum payment. Because if you do, it's gonna stay in your credit report for the next 7 years. 7 years of a bad credit score. Just because you forgot about your credit score payment. Set it on auto pay. And notice, since I already experienced it, that's how I know. Don't freak out if you miss a late payment on that specific day, because usually, not all the time, I'm not sure for all the credit card, usually, don't sue me, okay? Usually, it has to be 30 days after the late payment on that specific day that you were supposed to pay. 30 days later, that's when it shows up in your credit report. That's when it stays for 7 years. I'm not sure if that goes for all the credit card, but that was the case for me. Don't sue me. Another thing that could take your money away from you is you taking money out of the credit card, like taking withdrawals from like cash from the credit card. If you do that, they're gonna charge you interest. They're like $8, $10. You don't want to spend that money, right? So don't withdraw cash from the credit card. Believe me, I tried. It's not worth it. And last but not least, this is the most generic advice. Check your spendings and budget. Remember to budget. Use the app. Check how much you spent. Discover has a pretty good app. Chase has a pretty good app. It shows you how much you have used, how much you have left, how much percentage you've used. Always stay on top of that, because once you fall behind, you stoop all the way down. And that's how you get into crippling debts like this guy. So now let's go over the things that could actually affect your credit score, like specific things. Number 1, late payments. Late payments make up 35% of your credit score. It is so important, and it's gonna stay in your credit report for 7 years. It's like going to jail for 7 years, you know? Like, they take it so seriously, because missing your payment shows that you don't have the responsibility to pay your money. It makes the bank assume that 1, you don't have money. 2, you're irresponsible. That makes you not a credit card person. That's gonna affect your credit score so badly. Number 2, credit utilization. Now this makes up around 30% of your credit score. And this one should be fairly easy if you treat your credit card like a debit card. Like, it is not your money. It is not your money. Repeat after me. The credit card money is not my money. That is something you have to keep in your head. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like me. But anyways, keep it 30%. And like I said earlier, the best way to approach paying off your credit card is to just pay it off every 15 days or so, maybe 14, 13 days. And don't pay the minimum payment. Make sure that your credit card is fully paid off before the minimum payment, because they're charging you interest for that. Remember that. I'm not sure for all credit card, but mine was charging me interest for the minimum payment, which is something I found so absurd, but it is what it is. And if you do this is a really effective way to build credit score while paying no payment. That's how you make money off of the credit card. Number 3, length of credit history. Now, this makes up 15% of your credit card. Now, this is why it is generally a good idea to open a credit card ASAP. But that's only if you either don't use it, or 2, you're responsible. Now let's just say that you were to open a credit card when you were 18. I'm pretty sure you weren't responsible. You're probably not responsible when you were 18 with your money. So maybe once you have a job, or maybe once you've educated yourself financially, aka make yourself know the consequences of going into crippling debt, then maybe then you should get a credit card. But yeah, it's generally like a good idea to open a credit card ASAP, just so that you have years of a credit card history. And it usually counts the oldest credit card, so aka your first credit card. That's gonna make up the credit score for your credit history. Apparently, 1 year is really short, and 1 year of credit history counts as bad for the credit history thing. It won't affect your score that much because there's nothing you can do about it. You know, like what are they gonna do? Like give you like 200 points off because you're brand new to the credit card game? And also another thing to remember is they generally give you your credit score 6 months after you've opened your credit card, because that's when you have like performance with your credit card build up, you have your history, a little bit of it. But yeah, generally 1 year is nothing for the credit history, so keep that in mind. Open it ASAP if you're responsible, and should be good. Number 4, type of credits. Now this is gonna make up 10% of your credit score, and what this is basically the variety of your credits, your loans, is gonna determine your credit score. So it's generally to have a little bit more loans to build more credits. Use that information wisely though, because that is also how you get into crippling debt. Don't take out a loan to buy that brand new race car or whatever, Porsche, and then be 200K in debt for like forever, okay? Because interest is gonna build up. That car is gonna go down in what was it called? Depreciation. It's gonna depreciate. You're losing money. Number 5, last one. It is called new credit inquiries. Now this makes up 10% of your credit score, and what it is basically if you have too many credit cards, it is gonna temporarily lower your credit score. So don't open up too many credit cards at the same time. Like maybe don't open up 3 credit cards in 1 month, you know, just slowly but surely, you know, because what that shows the bank is that you don't have money and you want more credit card to spend more money. And that just shows that you're irresponsible. But this doesn't really like affect your credit score that much. Just think of your credit card as your debit card and you're fine. So in conclusion, here are the 2 things that you never want to do. Number 1, late payments. Set up auto pay. Never, ever pay it late. Maybe put it in your calendar. Set a timer. Put it on a board right in front of your bed every single morning that you wake up. See it. Remind yourself. Don't miss a late payment. Number 2 is high utilization. Don't use your credit card too much. Think of it as a debit card. Use it under 30%. Pay half of your credit card, all of it, every single 15 days, and pay it fully before you pay the minimum payment. Pay it fully and you should be good. This is how you use a credit card to make you money. This is how you use it to your advantage. This is how rich people use it. If you want to be rich, use it this way. If you want to be poor, if you want to be average, well then go get yourself a crippling debt, you know, open 5 credit cards every single 2 months just to go to Disneyland, and you know, you're average, you know, actually you're a bit above average because most people have like car loans, you know, student loans. If you just have credit card loans, credit card debt, you should be good. You should be good. Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know in the comments what other credit card video you would want me to talk about, or maybe let me know in the comments if I got something wrong, because I might have gotten something wrong. I don't know. Okay, I'm not perfect. Okay, so please be nice. Please. Anyways, bye.